OK，那个同学们，今天很高兴，我们今天直播来到了第30期，哇，好可怕哦！那我们今天呢，我们今天选出了15篇的 essay， 所以呢，泰森老师只有3到5分钟的时间去讲评一篇 essay。那泰森老师呢，你在讲的时候，你的题目大概有每次跟我们讲，像是这个题目主要是在讲什么，然后呢，这个题目的重点是什么，然后这同学的文章，那我就会帮你转，然后你就告诉我，然后你念，然后你跟同学做分析。OK， 好，那我们现在就开始喽，把时间交给你。OK， let's go with the first prompt.
Okay. Sure. The first prompt says describe an example of your leadership experience which you have positively influenced others. Okay, or resolve a dispute. So let me start saying this. When the college have these prompts, you don't really have to follow it word by word. A lot of times they don't really. As long as you write a good essay, you will be fine. Okay. Now let's start. Okay. Due to the epidemic, the group weekly have also been to continue volunteer activity to help. Okay. So then this one, we're starting with the. So this one, the essay right away, it jumped into, which is good. It says that we are doing the website, right? Okay, Continue at this time. So now I see, I read through this essay a little ahead of time. So I know that it actually breaks out into 2 major groups. The first one, the student said, it turns out the website wasn't good. So what the student did was that she basically said they explained the purpose to everyone again. And then they actually divide the workload, right? And then they had a deadline for everybody. Okay, that's fine. But then the essay went out and said, still, you know, the group has received a lot of negative feedback. Okay, so then the writer went back, the student went back again and say what they did. Okay, which is unfortunately, okay, the biggest problem is there's too much of telling us what happened, never showed you. Okay, for example, when you tell us that your website wasn't received well, okay, who reviewed the website? Did they say something about the website? You put in the essay they touched a little bit on the essay about people is not sure the direction, they don't like the context. But then what about some quotes? Okay, what about the real numbers? As a reader, it will be more convincing if you have something like the first week, the website had how many positive feedback, and the next week, you only got 2. Or, right, you showed it to, let's say, Mr. Johnson, my English teacher, and he said, this is the worst website I've ever seen. These are how you show the readers, okay? So that is definitely a thing that we can improve on. And then another thing I want to add about this one is that this is a very good example of you're staying on one topic. Does anybody get that? Even though I just said a lot of things that could improve, but this particular essay stayed with one topic, which is very, very important. Whoever wrote this did a very good job on that. That person focused on one topic, which is about the website. Yes, there are things that we can work on a little bit, but that is a very good takeaway. Thank you, Audrey 老师。Let's see the next one.
所以这个就是说，所以这个 essay 最大的致命问题是它那个 tell don't show, right?
Right. There is not enough specific. It never showed the reader what was going on. It says a lot of things, but then basically we're going to see a lot more example of this.
OK， 没关系，还是说泰森老师有没有再要多说一下？还是说其实你不用太着急，没关系，因为我们是可以延的，就对了。
Sure. We do have a lot of essay we need to go through.
OK， 所以第一篇的 essay 像这种题目，你会建议学生怎么写
？Unfortunately, right? If the main purpose is about how you improve the website, I think we should put more emphasis on that. 因为你一开始的时候是 talk about how you can help the like hungry children. Am I right? Right? 这样的话 it's actually 2 major topics. So my recommendations, if you're going to write about how you make your website better, then concentrate on that. Or if you're going to say you made a website about, you know, the hungry children, because you cannot just say, I would not recommend that you say that we make a topic about we're going to help feed the hungry children. And then we say our website is our main topic because helping hungry children is so important. It should not be just a side topic. Does that? I hope that helps.
那个 Sarah 老师，你有什么问题吗？所以就说我们如果在这边的话，它的website 就直接就是说，所以我们怎么说？它这篇ASA 的最大问题是说，他在讲说他的 website 不是很好，然后他们重做这样，但他在说太多他们做哪些事情，
Right.
并没有去呈现说他们做了哪些事情。
Right. You need to show the readers.
OK， 好的，然后再来那个就是 some student 再来。
老师不要着急这样快讲，我们差不多要做不完的，我们可以下一期，没关系，就这个。
对，所以你 just take your time， 因为这样子有时候，对，你知道我们的学生有时候他们不是很懂，就变成说你可能会很紧张要把这些 essay 完成。That's fine， just take your time， 因为学生我们就慢慢来，这样子就好了哈。OK，
那我们要不要学生自己他没有听懂的话，他可以自己要多问一句吗？他可以留言。
这一篇的学生好像没有上线。
OK， 好，
他是要录影的。好，来下一篇的学生，这个是谁的？来 ，Some students have a background identity。来，泰森老师，通常像这个题目的话，你会建议学生怎么去写
？First of all， 写不要你在 application 上面有的。Okay， so this one is about cello, right? Instrument. It's a guarantee that he also used cello in his application as extracurricular activity. Am I correct?
对啊，因为就说，所以你看到他这篇，他是在讲他的学那个 cello 的事情。可是 cello 的事情在他申请的那个文件上面，他的 activity 上面其实已经是呈现出来了，对不对？
对啊。
那为什么它不适合放在？既然它已经呈现出来，为什么它不适合放在 essay 上面呢？
因为 college essay 如果这个大学 wants to know about your cello history, about what kind of award you want, it's going to be in the application. You're not telling them anything that they don't already know. That's one thing. Second, this is a chance that you can tell the colleges who you really are. You show them special. You show them how diverse you are from the rest of their students. This is the whole part about diversity. Diversity is not what country you live in. It's not where you grow up. It's not because you're Chinese, because you're half Japanese. Diversity is what makes you different from another person next to you. Diversity, we use this kind of essay to show the diversity, not to just repeat again what was in our application.
哦，所以 Sarah 老师要不要帮同学翻译一下？
朱老师，你给翻译吧。
其实呢，在申请上面有个很重要的一点，你在你的 essay 上面是呈现你的性格，呈现你的特质。那这些东西其实不是在你的申请文件上面可以列得出来。你申请文件上面有你的那个什么 honor。OK， 这个我们一清二楚 honor 就列出来 ，activity 一清二楚列出来。但是问题是，你的 essay 是你另外一个机会去呈现出来，你都没有 repeat 上面的东西，所以这是 Dyson 老师说的意思。而且这边是在讲你个人的 background。OK， 个人的东西，所以根本就不需要再看到说哦，我们都知道你是亚洲人，我们都知道你是中国人，我们都知道你是台湾人，我们都知道你是香港人，我们都知道你是日本人。然后呢，这个不是你的 background， 这不是你的 identity。所以 furthermore， 所以像那个Dyson 老师，如果说像 Tyson 老师不是 Dyson，OK，Dyson 是我家吸尘器哦。Tyson 老师，所以像这种的 essay， 你会怎么要学生去写呢？像这种东西。
The very best example, okay, 就是 we had a student last year.
Yeah,
very good example. He is going to be a computer science major, okay? But then 他一直练习太极，他打太极拳。So 18 years young person gonna study computer science, but then he's also into Tai Chi. You see how this is a very, very strange. It's a very strange combination. That is very different from rest of the group. That is how he stand out. Okay. Now the background identity or interest or talent. You see everything here, right? You can apply. And then another example one of our students will use will be her talent is singing in the shower. Nobody will think that's singing in the shower could be a talent, right? Who doesn't sing in the shower? Why would that be a talent for her? Because when she sings in the shower, it releases her stress. She can face a lot of difficulties. She find her world. She find her energy from and release from singing in the shower. That makes an interesting essay. Okay?
哦，那所以就说，如果说像这种东西，都是像你在那个厕所里面，像刚刚戴森老师说的一样，不是戴森，是泰森老师说的一样，就是说你在那个厕所唱歌，然后可以减轻你的压力，这个是没有人知道，你在申请上面也看不到。那我们就回过头来看这篇文章，这篇在讲 cello 的部分，你觉得它有什么可以值得改进的地方呢？
Okay, so to start with, right, compared to the previous, okay, 我们先讲几个重点吧。He's the writer. 这个学生刚开始 he said, although I forgot when this started, right? But I guess I was interested in singing. I was interested in the string because I chose cello, right? So he started with the history of cello, which is unfortunately not really necessary. Okay, he should dive right in, saying that I've been practicing cello for how many years, right? Just go right into it. Just go ahead and say it. I've been studying cello. I've been practicing cello, which is fine. And then, so because behind the door, I am finally going back to think, right? So now he starts to say a lot of things about looking back. He really appreciates that he has learned cello. All this could have been condensed in a couple of sentences, okay? So going to about when he started to learn cello is just not necessary, okay? Now, there is if we go down a little more, right? Now, actually stop right there if you don't mind, Audrey Laoshi. Okay, going up a little bit, okay? See, right here, right there, stop right there, okay? Because now here's the thing. So let's start at the top, right? I will never leave. The cello will never leave me. Learning cello not only bring music into my life, but also taught me a lot of things, okay? Now, here's the thing though. The students telling us cello taught him a lot of things, but not showing.
No.
You know what I mean? Difference between showing us and telling us, okay? So it makes me become a person that is more patient, focused, concentrate, right? Because practice needs me to have these traits so I can reach my goal. All these are just telling us. It's not showing us. Example about how showing us, right? I used to be very impatient. How? Right? I got into a fight with my younger brother when we're late for the bus. But since I start practicing cello, I wait for him patiently. Now we don't get into a fight. You see how one is telling the readers, yes, I'm more patient. The other one is showing the reader how it has happened. That is what we.
对，
所以像这个学生，他的问题在于说，他一直重复他怎么样从开始学 cello， 就是怎么样开始学这个拉大提琴，其实根本就不需要讲了，就直接应该是讲说学大提琴多久了，因为他在申请的时候，他已经放出了他已经学 cello 这件事情了嘛，对不对？对，然后呢，所以你就跟他，然后所以你讲到说 cello， 他会说啊，教了我好多事情，然后让我变成就是说很有耐性 ，be more patient， 但是他根本没有讲出实例。所以您刚刚举的例子就是说，哎，像例如说以前跟弟弟常吵架，但是后来学了 cello 就不常吵架，就是要把例子带出来。所以就是我们讲的 show don't tell， 对不对？
Exactly. And then there is one more thing. And then there is one more thing. If you go down a little further, right? So stop right there. That's fine. Okay. Learning cello actually makes me become a better person that can face many difficulties because I believe I can always handle it, right? I never give up. So now, just based on the couple of the things I pointed out, right? What did we talk about?
Tyson 老师以前在开会的时候，你会讲什么？这废话吗？上面那句都已经写了，下面还要再写吗？
It's not just that, but also there is he talked a lot, and then he talked a little bit about he was in some kind of band, right? If I remember, he was in the, and he realized that everybody have to work together to make the music, right? So now here he talk about he's gonna have to work hard, he can push through. You see, now there's too many ideas in this topic, in this paper. Okay, so it needs to be more focused, right? So the playing cello has made him become the person that he is. He is more patient. Now then he talked about the teamwork. Now he talked about confidence. So these are all great ideas, but we need to narrow down to just one idea. Okay. And then,
要是你会建议，你会怎么样建议他改那个怎么样 narrow down one idea 呢？
And personally, I like things that are not readily available. Meaning not readily obvious. Okay. Playing instrument give me peace. That is of course everybody kind of assume that will happen. I was really sad, but when I play cello, I feel supported. That's always the case, right? But what about something a little different? Okay. For example, playing cello, right? Actually, what's the word? We want to make it. My example is about boxing. Okay, contact sport, something that is very unlike the serene melody of music like cello. Okay? For example, my example would be before I get into a ring to box another person, I listen to cello. Right? You see how the difference that is? You see how you want to make that difference. Or for example, maybe this writer has a uncle or an aunt, right? 一个长辈 ，OK， 那个长辈通常是 那个长辈每天都在那个在种花 ，he's always working in the garden. I never understood why she always gardening, but then when I started playing cello, I understand why that person is always gardening, because when that person is doing the gardening, 他的 fulfillment 就好像我得到 the thing I get from cello. So you can make that connection. That's also a good way.
所以那样 connection 就可以 link back to 那个什么 interest 或 talent 这边了嘛。
Right, and you see how broad 这个 topic is. There is not really gonna be a wrong answer on these. This is where the student explore.
OK， 好，那我们再来看第3篇。哇哦，到现在虽然我就觉得我们两个写作功力又往上升了。
是啊，因为我们常常会遇到这样的问题，学生就是常常他们在背景上已经写了很多了，但写 essay 的时候又重复他曾经他填写上的背景的东西。我一直都觉得这是不好的东西，但是我想不出来泰森老师这样讲的这样的。对
啊，因为其实同学你要知道，就是说你在申请上面的文件都已经告诉别人，所以你在 essay 上面的时候本来就要呈现一个不一样的你，在我们申请上面看不出来的你。OK， 那我们来看第3篇。第3篇同样也是 identity 跟 interest 这个部分。OK，just say good job to your sister。我记得Tyson 老师说这篇其实写的不错，但是他的这篇其实写的不错的原因是什么？但是你又觉得有什么可以改进的？来跟我们大家分享一下。
Just look at the first opening sentences, right? Quote, just say a good job to your sister, right? My mom, told me, shouted at me, This is a very interesting hook that gets the audience hooked right away. What is the story about, right? I want to learn more. And then it says, I refuse to praise my sister for only passing the English exam. Huh? What is going on here, right? I want to read more about it. You get the reader right away.
Yeah.
Okay? And also, not only that, how can you possibly put this into your application? You can't, right? Because this is now nowhere about the application, right? So this is not about my honor, not about some extracurricular activity I did. So this kind of essay really shows the reader who you are. And that's excellent.
所以它其实一开始就有一个 hook， 就一个钓饵，就把它抓起来了，对不对？而且这个完全都根本就不是在你的 Common App 里面任何一个表格可以呈现出来的。
And then this sounded like a real person. It's not something that, okay, I am gonna write very boring, very formulated, essay that I learned from English, how to do this. And it's not really you, right? This is a special person. This is a person writing.
Okay.
Then he goes on saying that when I was young, I don't, I have to, I couldn't understand the concept of lying, right? I can't understand why somebody would lie. This is all good, right? So we continue, right? And then stop right there, please. When you, do I look fat? The answer is always no. That is hilarious. That's funny, right? So we're able to interject some humor into this, which is good. Okay, so far so good. All right, and it actually gets even better, right? Even after the purpose of lying, the execution of it seemed impossible to me, right? Saying words that's not true, all these. Okay, now we kind of see, okay, where are you going with this? Now you get the reader excited. Now here's the best part, right? Major change occurred during high school. The same student and the same attitude still persisted, yet so does my shame. So he said because of hormone, because he has this need to be accepted by others, he started to lie himself. Okay, this is all great dynamic. Okay, and this really goes into the writer's inside. 这个学生, what he was thinking, what he was going through, this is all very good. Okay, and then so far so good. But then there's still gonna be some problems start to come up the more we go into it. Okay, so gradually I felt more confident in lying, right? Bluffing to gain attention, deceiving my peers, right? Become my everyday schedule. Suddenly, the reader started to get a feeling, wait a minute, you're not trying to be funny and sarcastic anymore. You're actually really telling us this is the kind of like a dark side. Now, this is where we kind of go, oh, wait, we need to kind of change the tone now, okay? Right, because this is getting to be a little too much of a self-pity. This is too much of a, world doesn't understand me. Okay, we don't want the negativity in our essay.
所以刚开始的时候，他其实是用一个很有趣的那种，然后自嘲的，但是结果后来他在下面的时候就有弄到了，就是说比较已经到负面了，就说世界都不了解我，全世界的人都不了解我，这样子就已经比较走向负面，这其实是不对的。就说维持，就说它两个的 tone， 它两个的那个语调不太相关。前面的一二段都是比较讽刺、比较嘲讽、比较有趣，就接下来就开始个自怨自哀的，就是比较那种负面上面的，这样两个的调性就不合了嘛。
Right, because in American culture, this type of description at first we think is a self-deprecating humor, which is funny. And which is also a show of confidence. When you're able to make fun of yourself, you don't mind other people laugh at you. That means you feel very strong about yourself, which is a good quality. Okay? But then when we keep going down there, now here comes the actual example about how he noticed that his lab partners, right, is cheating on the lab results in the physics class or chemistry class. I don't remember which one. And then, because he felt this obligation to be honest, he eventually went to his instructor and told the truth. Okay, and then through that, he found himself that he still need to be honest. Now, at this point, the reader is really, the whole tune of the essay has changed. Instead of the funny, self-deprecating humor we saw earlier, do I look fat? The answer is always no. That is funny, right? Instead of that, instead of the bickering with the searcher, now we actually get a feeling that maybe you really are kind of thinking that you are so honest and the whole world is dishonest. Maybe you really are saying that. Maybe you are thinking that you are better than everybody around you because you don't lie, right? That become too negative.
所以其实就说，因为这个同学他前面写的前面两段其实都很好，但是到了第三段、第四段之后，他其实就变成自怨自哀。自怨自哀之后呢，他就变成是说，他觉得说，好像只有他诚实，别人都在说谎，就对了。
Right. So then when we keep going down there, right, and then the conclusion, right, although the physics accident It's not the proudest moment of my high school, but it helped me find out who I am again. I learned that I shall not be the victim under social norms. I could always be allowed to reveal the hidden truth. So see, over there again, he is equating social norm with lying. It's almost like he believes either you are lying, right, to become the whole world is just a lying, the whole world is full of lies. You must be a liar to survive in the real world, right? Of course, that is not the person that we want to show the readers. Okay, so there are a couple great ideas in here. For example, he can talk about we should one, stay kind of positive, stay humorous, right?
所以他最后一段的问题在哪里？
最后一段的问题就是 he did not make it. The student did not make this into self-deprecating humor again. He actually went through the direction of saying that we must be liars in order to fit into the world. Which is not all true, right? So if his conclusion would be like, I could still be honest, yet, right? I could still be honest with myself without hurting other people. That would be a good positive way, right? And then over here, when he mentioned about I could finally confess to my sister that her favorite dress make her leg look 5 inches shorter, and told my mom that her furry boots are already out of fashion. So now, without further context, that will make it almost like now you're just being edgy, now you're just being blunt and just, inconsiderate for other people's feeling. You become, outcast. You fringe people. My suggestion in this one, to make it nice and warm, right? It will be, maybe you can put it under the setting. The Wednesday night again, I always take my sister, right, to her ice skating lesson. And then we go to have ice cream afterwards. While we're having ice cream, I finally had the courage to tell her, yes, the skirt make you look shorter. She was furious, but I laughed at her. And then we went home. You see, you paint that beautiful brother and sister love picture, right? Yet, you're able to be honest, you make fun of her, you tell her the truth. Under this atmosphere of love, under this atmosphere of positivity, then it's okay.
所以这篇的文章，它其实前面开头是好的，但是后来他陷入自怨自哀，最后他想把它修正回来，但修正回来，他并不是用一个比较温暖的话去让他做结尾，就对。所以整篇前面2段是好的，但是整个 tone 就不对了。然后最后结尾虽然他想把它修回来，但是修回来又转得太勉强了，就对了。
Okay. So a good way to fix it is we should concentrate. The still about the central idea is there, which is good. We did not deviate too far. But if we can concentrate on one of the incidents, if we concentrate on his puberty change, right? Or concentrate on his physics, or is that lab, the fake lab result. Concentrate on either one of those, or concentrate on his relationship with his family and how he lied. Or how he decided that lying is not really lying. It's about, expressing your opinion or whatever. Concentrate on one of them instead of all three. I think, and of course, be positive. That will make a lot.
Okay. Wow. 所以所以这个同学他其实是这个主题这个内容是好的，但是他整个后面的前面是后面的要改就对了。
Right, the execution got kind of weary. Yes.
哇，然后再来看到这一篇，这个同学也是同样的主题哈，这个同样的主题，但他是在讲昆虫类的马步。
Right.
好，来让老师给我们一下讲评这个部分。
So first of all, again, I like this essay because you cannot write on your application anywhere else. I like insect. Is that true? Right? You cannot write that.
所以就说你在 application 上面，虽然你可以说你也做了很多这个东西，但是你没有办法一破题就说我喜欢昆虫。
对 exactly. So that alone, right away, is a good topic. Okay. So now, there is one example. I wonder if I could find it right away. And so content will be, if you could scroll down to, are we at the different essay? Oh yes, it is. Yes, that's fine. He actually had to keep going. In my childhood, my grandmother's saw like, okay, if you could stop right there.
Okay.
Right? So he talked about the mentors, how he liked the mentors. Okay? And then there's some descriptions, which is okay. But there is a part, if you can go down a little more, right?
Okay.
Okay. All right, stop right there. Did well, point out, can all the 各位同学, can you all see the idiom, the old idiom? 螳臂挡车. Did you guys make that out?
螳臂挡车.
Right? 螳臂当车吧.
螳臂当车. Okay.
So it basically means trying to achieve mission impossible. Just like a mentor trying to stop a chariot by its arms. That's good. Okay? But that itself could have been a great topic. Okay? But we get back to that.
Okay.
Right? So to me, that's a fearless warrior. Okay, now keep that in mind. Right? So now, here, the mentors opened the door for me to the vast world of insect, which taught me a lot of inspiration in life. So I extend my observation to different patterns of all kinds, different insect, majority insect, short lifespan, my people show. Okay, so all this, unfortunately, again, is not, he is telling us what these insects do. And also, he says that the mentors opened the door for him in the vast world inside, which taught me a lot of inspiration. How did it do that? You know, again, still, I may be running out of example. Okay, but let me use another example, right? It could be watching the mentors sitting there. He actually mentioned it, that he sit there, observe the mentors for hours. That is good. That is how you show you have a lot of interest in insect. When I write, I just love insect. It doesn't really show you that I love insect. You need to show. If you write something like, I can sit there watch this insect for hours, that is showing the writers how much you love insect. You see the difference?
所以老师，你会觉得说这篇他放了太多的东西在里面，
That is another thing.
它其实可以像你刚刚讲，它其实螳臂挡车这个就可以马上就抓出来就做一个主题就对了。所以他其实放了很多东西在他这篇文章里面，就说他想要告诉别人他喜欢昆虫，然后可是又讲到螳臂挡车，然后又讲到了这些昆虫的世界这些东西，所以他其实基本上有3、4个主题在这篇 essay 里面嘛。
Right. 然后 if we go down a little more, we can see that there's actually a part about the family disapproval of his hobby. Right? So
又讲到又再来另外一个主题了，就对了。
Right. There's just way too many ideas.
所以这篇文章里面有太多的主题，就对了。所以如果是你建议的话，你就觉得他怎么样去改呢？
第一个，pick one topic, right? That 螳臂挡车, that topic is extremely good. Okay. So then, how do you just brainstorm me? How are you gonna expand into this? Right? You could be like, man, why is it that we have this idiom? 怎么会有这个成语叫做螳臂挡车呢？但是这个成语 doesn't exist in America. Why is that? Is it because in the Eastern culture that we want to make sure that we are more conscientious of our abilities? But in America, we don't have this kind of concept because we want the full speed ahead. We want to achieve all of our personal potentials. And guess what? That suits my personality even more. See, now that become an essay.
所以如果说用螳臂挡车这个成语来做破题的话呢，它可以回顾到它的昆虫，然后又可以回顾到说在美国没有这个 culture， 可是它其实是这是它的 personality， 其实光这样就可以写出一篇 essay 了嘛。
Exactly.
就用这一个成语来写就好了。 就从这个
Exactly.
对，所以它这边里面涵盖了4、5个概念就对了，所以
Right.
4、5个其实都可以做个别的那个就对了。OK，
And also, too many quotes is not very. It's not.
他用了太多的 quote 吗？
Right. There's a lot of quote in this essay.
所以他用了太多成语了就对了。其实为什么？因为美国的文化怎么样？
The American culture? No. Are you talking about the quote?
对啊。
Because the thing with the quotes is that, first of all, you use up a lot of word space. Okay, unless it is a quote that is kind of from the family member, or it's a quote that you really can explore on. Right? So, or it's something that's short and it's really powerful that grabs your attention. When you have these long quotes from a really sophisticated writers, it just feels like you're just eating up space. Okay? It's really not necessary. We would much rather save those space to write something that could tell the reader more about us.
OK， 好的，哇，那所以这篇
对我们中国的讲的成语叫螳臂当车，但是我知道台湾叫螳臂当车。但是我在想说，他在引用成语的时候，要不要把中文的汉字写上那4个字，然后在后边用拼音写会比较好吗
？No need. You can actually write down. You can actually 随便拼都可以。Doesn't even matter.
Okay.
Because they're not going to be able to pronounce it. It's fine.
除非有很多空格的字，到时候再看吧。OK， 好，来，那我们接下来进到下一篇去，对 ，describe a problem。OK， 那老师看像这个题目，你通常会怎么去建议学生开始呢
？Okay. So first of all, the one of the biggest problem with this is almost feel like you're just taking one of the writing assignment from your English class and you directly port it into your essay.
所以这个是老师真的讲到重点，很多同学把那个 Common App 的东西就把它当成是学校的英文作业一样，就直接把它拿一篇来写，对不对？那最重要的 essay 的重点精髓在什么？
所以 unfortunately, this is the one that is the biggest problem with this essay. Okay, if we take we just take a glance at, right? First of all, you talk about the Taiwan's health insurance system. Okay, that topic in itself is just not appropriate because it's not personal. What does it do for you, right? How is that connected to you as a person? This sounds a lot like a research paper, pro and con, argumentative assignment, right? Comparative paper or research paper. So this is, unfortunately, from the start, is something that we should avoid, okay? And then now, the second thing that we jump into it is that he started talking about there is an underprivileged group that the Taiwan healthcare system hasn't really taken care of. And then through his volunteer experience, he was able to reach out to them. Okay? So then now, please keep in mind though, I know we all want the colleges to know that we try very hard. We all want the colleges to know that we did quite a bit. But then we need to also keep in mind that that we are, 18 years old. There's going to be a lot of things that 18-year-old can and cannot do. Okay? So to really able to convince the readers in America that you're 18, you're able to, if you scroll down a little bit, okay, there's a part, stop right there, right? There's this part. I decided to improve the most direct sector, the material condition or medical supply to the area. Initiated a fundraiser program that supplies necessary medical supplies, rehabilitation equipment. This program setup have been arduous, from contacting legal charity accounts, right? Support of the corporations, right? Local communities, collaborating physicians and pharmacists. All these feels like somebody's article, right? That was published in some kind of journal. He's telling us all this, yet he showed us nothing.
所以这篇文章看起来，如果是学校的作业是还不错，但是拿来做 essay 真的很可怕。
Right, because this is not
像一个
what
论文。
college essay are looking for.
因为为什么是看不到他的任何的什么嘛？就
Exactly, 完全没有让我们看到这个学生 who he really is. So this is something that, for example, a English class will have a topic, right? Write a research paper, write a comparative paper, write a some kind of assignment about, something about the topic that's dear to you, and then you have to make references and such. So unfortunately, this is not something. The topic itself was kind of off in the beginning, and second, of course, a lot of saying that, a lot of telling the reader, but nothing's really it didn't really show us anything. For
所以他
example,
只是一直在跟那个 reader 讲他做了什么事情，然后感觉起来就是像学校的一篇文章一样，然后拿过来放着就对。那其实这也是我们学生常常发生的问题哈，在写 essay 就觉得好像把学校的功课一样，就把它拿来写一写，然后写冠冕堂皇，但是他做了很多 tell， 但是他没有 show， 就对了。
Right. If we look at here, he just said, right, collaborating with physician and pharmacist. That is telling the reader that, yes, I collaborated with physicians and pharmacists. 我跟医生跟药剂师合作 but you didn't show us how you did it. How did you collaborate? You simply told us you did this, but you didn't show us how you did it. So that is actually another big thing with this particular essay.
所以这篇基本上它就是完全是要重写了嘛，因为它根本就只是把学校的那个 OK 好，那我们接下来看下一篇这篇哈，像这个文章 discuss accomplishment event or 那个 realization， 那像这种文章的话，老师你会怎么建议同学说那个 what's the topic？Like what's the topic? And this student, he only speak English. His English is better than Chinese. So I think you gotta speak in English. So what do you recommend to write this essay?
What I like about the essay, this one, is it started kind of small. I like that part, right? First of all, let's not get into about throwing a snowball in LA. I think there may be some kind of misunderstanding there. Okay, obviously, I don't think it snows in LA. Right? But then if you are throwing a snowball at somebody and then you had a realization, that's very good. Because we want the realization kind of like a light up moment, like a eureka. So this is what happened. Right? And that could be coming from very, very kind of mundane and unimportant things. We want big realization. We want an epiphany moments from very common stuff. For example, I saw my grandmother knitting in front of the fireplace. Suddenly,
戴森老师啊，你在看的是跟我看的是同一篇吗？ Are we talking about the same essay?
等一下 I had this number wrong. Did I have my number wrong? My apologies. Is it LA? I'm sorry. Let me read it again. Okay, flashback
to my previous year.
Flashback to my previous years.
Oh, my apologies. Yes, this is essay number 6. I jumped to essay number 7.
Okay.
Oh, so
I was wondering.
So fit in is of course one of the biggest things.
对啊，学生马上说老师是不是看错文章啦？
Right.
Yeah.
So this one went straight to the point, which is okay. But then from the beginning, right? My first reaction is this is too negative, right? Because talking about the dog eating joke, talk about how you make fun of your own cultural background so you can fit in. This paints a very bleak picture that, for one thing, it just shows not only are you saying that, are you showing how terribly you are adjusting to, you're painting a kind of this devilish picture of your surrounding, which is just, I don't know how to say it, which is just not true, right? Do you really want the reader to view your high school years as like constantly under this pressure of racial, discrimination? right?
Mm-hmm.
So that is just not true. And that's for one thing. Second, if you really feel that way, I am sorry that you feel that way truly, but then for the purpose of this, that is not a good topic to write.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So that is just not a good topic to write. And then stay away from most of these, because you can definitely write it. There are examples out there that have been, that are very well written essay about adjustment, about how they have to deal with racial inequalities, but these are much higher level. Because writing topic like that, first of all, it's impossible to make it humorous, right? Second, you have to really 拿捏到 exactly how the American college officials. Otherwise, if you go too far left or too far right, it's very easily to come out wrong for the reader. So that's why I would recommend against writing about how I was being, discriminated against because of my background. And definitely stay away from, from any of these, dog eating jokes, especially those things. They come out as not only,
so when they talk like, do you eat dogs, it's too negative, right?
That is not only negative, but it is extremely racist and is extremely inappropriate.
就是不要讲这样。
就不要讲这种有关于像真的是太歧视的这种文章。
Right. Because that is a couple things I remember in our college coach slide. The reason we don't want to talk about politics, we don't want to talk about religion, crime, because these things, not only are they extremely difficult to write, but then they can be positive. You can really make it humorous, and it shows to the reader that you're not clear about the boundaries, right? What is appropriate, what is not appropriate to write. Yes, we want to talk about ourselves, but we want to be clear that we know the social, we need to have social boundary. We need to understand that. We need to demonstrate that to the college so that they know, we are mature. That is also.
Okay. So there's what's the fundamental problem with this essay?
One is too negative. Two, the topic is just too sensitive to be written well. It's just going to be too difficult to really be written.
Okay, so I think he has to rewrite it, right? Okay, let's go back to. Okay.
所以我总结一下哈，到现在为止，我大概总结一下，其实呢，你的 college 的那个申请的时候的 essay 哈，还是要多写有关于到正能量的东西。
Absolutely.
对啊。OK， 好，来在这边又是那个 spatial background 跟 identity 这个的 ，OK。
Okay. When I had the same feeling as is this the one that he was in Los Angeles? Yes. All right. This is the one. This is the essay number 7.
OK， 这同学可能是他写的，所以他特别注意说，哎，老师是放错了这样。好，来，老师来看一下哈，这边。这篇的 essay 的文章，它的问题在哪里？
With the quote about small step for one person, right? But one giant step for mankind. So now he talk about that he basically the main thing about this essay is that he traveled a lot. He grew up in many different places, right? When I was born, I was an adorable boy. So I like to travel and explore. So then, so one day in 08, that is a snowy day, right? So this is the one, right? So then he made a snowball, and then he was looking at it. He was shocked that, this is actually a great idea. Because you were small, you thought snow was part of Earth. You didn't know the Earth will melt in your hand. But then when it started to hurt, you threw it away, and you hit the father on the head, right? That is actually a really engaging story. Why did we not explore on that? I mean, it's like this is a really interesting part. I want to know more about it. What did you feel about it? What did you learn from it? And he did mention it. He goes, he realized that, no matter what the mortality, life is short. Okay, so now that is where it kind of go Yeah, we could, we suppose, but then yeah, but it's the but he never really go further depth into it, right? He just say, yeah, so that we need to, carpe diem, we need to seize the day because life is short. So he went back to about he traveled to different places, he grew up in different places. So my thing with this is that then he talked about to succeed, he has more confidence, right? So how do we get from the sudden, realization of mortality to feeling confidence at the end, right? To moving from places to places, right? So again, there is a lot of idea that's floating in here. Some of these really good idea. I really like that idea about, scooping up a handful of snow, right? Thinking that it was dirt, yet it started to melt and hurt his hand, so he threw it away, right?
所以他基本上他这篇文章根本就不要再写这些什么其他的 travel， 他只要把那个就是 snowball 在手上融化的时候，这个就可以延伸出一个故事出来了嘛。
就写用 LA 的故事就好了。
对，就不要再跟大家他讲搬来搬去、住来住去，这个 doesn't mean anything, right?
But then it's actually 他如果真的是他的想法是真的是要说他想要讲说，其实在走来走去每个地方对他来说真的是生命很重要。It's not a bad idea either. 因为说真的 ，if we're gonna write about how the snow melted in my hand, right? And then he threw it away. What are we gonna write about? Right? 这好像就有一点what's gonna be next? Instead of going to where he was going 说人生很短暂 when he know the mortality of mankind. This kind of topic is still 第一个 is too broad. 第二个 you really is that really you? Right? Is that really about a high school person that's thinking about mortality, or is he just writing thinking that this is to showcase? So my suggestion is this. How about make the connection between the two, right? When he was younger, he picked up a snow thinking it was dirt, right? And then it was his hand started to melt. He threw it away. Okay. Then when he grew older, he traveled. He lived in Japan. He lived in China. Lived in Taiwan. And then of all those times, he felt terrible, right? Because he was in the new places. He have to make new friends. But then after he moved away from Japan, he missed the time he was in Japan. Just like when he had that melting snowball in his hand. He thought it was freezing him. He threw it away. But afterwards, he kind of find that strange. It's exciting at the same time. So that's when he realized, you know what? I really shouldn't be complaining too much. I should really enjoy whatever opportunity is in front of me. If I'm in America, I should really love America. If I happen to be living in Japan, forget about missing China. I love everything about Japan. That's what the essay is about. It could be positive. It could be funny. That shows the reader you are growing. That makes a good essay.
OK. Wow. OK， 来，我们接下来看下一篇。下一篇是讲这个也是很长，就是同学在写这边的 idea 的时候，就说 a flag when you question or challenge a belief。OK，那这个通常老师你会建议学生怎么写呢
？Again， 刚开始写的真的不错 ，I really like it。Sitting in the chair, right in the cafeteria， 不需要用太多高大上的名词 ，just describe what was happening. The person was there studying, and then he heard a whole bunch of students talking about the exam. Then he realized other students aren't studying as hard as he did, but they're getting better grades than him. That is a great topic. It shows that he is growing up, he is struggling, right? He tried to find what is going on here, right? So then the theme of this essay is about talent versus hard work. Right? So then,
所以就是天赋跟努力的差别。
That is what he was writing about, which is okay. That is kind of unusual topic, and I like the way he started. He described about he was studying, and he described about how he got an F. Right? He was kind of angry, but it's okay. But then, unfortunately, right, instead of exploring more on how he feel, he actually went to a different place. He talked about Galileo. He talked about the Renaissance man, right? How he was excellent in everything he does, right? And then now I start to get confused. What are we going with this? You know what I mean? So his talent over mechanics, physics, and have huge impact on the rest of the world in modern science. Yes, but is talent the only factor in Galileo's success? The well-known Galileo trial, right? So then after he said that, I was thinking, sure, now he's gonna tell me a little bit history, but see, I'm gonna get back to it. Now we should kind of get to the part where, no, that's definitely not true, because Galileo worked on one particular project for 15 years and everybody, laugh at him or something like that. That shows his perseverance, show how hard he worked. But then instead, he talked about, how his finding was in direct conflict with the religious authority at the time, right? So now again, that went to a different direction. So stop right there, please. Go up a little bit. Okay, now in his conclusion, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard, right? This quote answers my question right in the beginning. We as humans are born unequally. That's nature. Just like a, marathon, going through, but all these are a little too cliche towards the end. Okay, so I was really hoping, right? It had a great opening, but then I was really hoping at the end he could come up with something that we didn't expect. Because as soon as I realized he's talking about talent and team and the hard work, I knew what the conclusion would be. The conclusion would be, yes, we got to work hard. Talent will not solve all the problems. We all knew this is coming. Why not something a little different?
OK， 那所以就是说，老师，我会觉得说，应该是说这篇的破题非常好，但是中间的用的这个例子不好，然后结尾也没有这么的好，因为结尾早就我们一开始破题就会知道你结尾会怎么样了嘛。那老师你会建议他说，他的结尾会怎么写会比较好呢？
I'm not sure this would be the correct way to go, right? But then 结尾 in my opinion, he should come out and say, you know what? Hard work is a talent in itself, right? Or something that's different. Okay? Instead of repeating and regurgitating all the cliche we know, right? 1% talent, 99% hard work. Even if you come out and say, guess what? I really don't believe in hard work now, because from now on, I'm going to use my talent to let me get through life. I mean, that would be extremely unusual. Maybe it's definitely not right. But then at least that would be something that's different than what we will be expecting. Okay, so something definitely different. Okay.
OK， 好，那我们接下来看到下面这个。
这篇文章就是你就是不要这样写下来是不行的，就是根本就不是。
对，但是破题是好的，然后之后就
后面不是这样写，
就没办法这样写就对了。好，那我们接下来下面看到这边呢，来 recount you face a challenge, OK, setback or failure。像这种文章，老师你会建议我们学生怎么写比较好呢？
For one thing, let's just not follow it, because majority of the students I have seen, right, they actually try to follow this. I had this very big obstacle, right?
所以基本上老师你看哈，从刚刚讲到现在，你就说其实题目是一回事，你怎么去阐述是最重要的。就是说你其实只要一个小小例子去连到跟着题目有相关就好，重点都是阐述后面。可是很多同学似乎都是为了回答问题。
Right.
对不对？可是他并不是回答问题，对不对？对了，老师是不是这样翻译一下，再翻译？
就是说你要 focus on 一件小事来说明一个问题，而不是去回答他的问题。
Right. Exactly. If we could remember earlier, 我们有一个 insect 那个 essay, right?
昆虫的 essay.
Right. So use that. We could perfectly use that. Right? Right? You face the challenge, setback, right? I love insect, but my mom wouldn't let me have the spider pet I always wanted. That is a setback. Why is that a setback? Everybody's going to think, so what? What's the big deal? Right? Spiders are disgusting. They're scary. Who will want to have that pet? But then you make that into a setback for you, right? So that would make an interesting essay. So now getting into this essay, right?
Okay.
So he started. Actually, at first, I thought it's actually a
self-discipline, yeah.
Right. So now I actually like that opening until I figure out what he was writing. So, unfortunately, right, he has no self-discipline, and then he has no drive, no discipline, because he got fat. That's basically what it comes down to. All right. So now the essay, then it really took a unfortunate turn, because it become basically he's telling the reader he start weightlifting, powerlifting. Now he feel good because he's not fat anymore.
Okay. So what's the point?
That is exactly what I try to think. How would this essay make you stand out? Right?
So you don't see any point. 就是说这篇文章里面他从头到尾讲不到重点就对了。
Right. So why? That's why I'm saying those with things like this. You want to write something that's interesting, positive, right? Active, humorous, humble, right? Those are the three things. And then writing essay like this, there is really you can make this positive. You gotta be able to, one, make fun of yourself, saying that, oh my God, I am overweight. I can run up the stairs, right? Or whatever this is. Or you have to have something different. Because this one is just there's no theme. There's no story there.
Okay, 所以这篇文章完全就没有任何故事性可言嘛。Okay, so like consider， 哇，我们今天时间超时了，但是还是把它讲完吧。OK， 因为同学都好认真哦。OK， 而且其实同学很重要是你要从别人的文章里面去学到怎么去写，千万不要就觉得说我听完我自己的就没事。去听别人怎么去写，老师在每一个上面都会跟你讲到这个点。像例如说，我们刚刚看的一篇文章里面涵盖了4、5个重点，每个重点都可以拿出来，或是说像我们刚刚看到那个文章根本就没有任何的重点。这种其实就是我觉得说，像刚刚的同学就说他讲到在洛杉矶那个 snowball 在手中融掉，这是一个很好的点，但是讲太多他 travel 的事情，所以我觉得同学都要听别人怎么去写就对了。OK，
因为你们是申请大学的时候不只有这一篇 essay 哈，所以你这样的话你会多得到一些 idea。
OK， 好，来，那个老师在 consider your ability to control your own 那个 motivation。OK， 来，你告诉我一下，这个大概老师会建议这种同学要怎么去写呢？
How have past experience helped you build your courage and resilience to persuade challenge them? Once this storm passes, you can emerge and continue to pursue your goals. So the prompt like this is so broad, you can pretty much put anything in there. Okay, don't be fixated on writing something that this I had difficulty and how I overcome it. Okay, something about your life and what you have learned from it, that will be sufficient. Okay, 所以这个呢for one thing, right, on this there is a confusion. All right, I was confused about what he's trying to talk about, right? For one thing, he started with he was playing drum. Okay, I thought this is gonna be a essay about his passion for playing music, which is fine. Then he go and talk about when he was in Taiwan, he was invincible. He got all kind of award. Okay? When we scroll down, he start talking about when he came to the U.S. That's not the case anymore. You have to work hard, right? So now it become kind of it become confusing because what are you saying? It's easier to compete in Taiwan.
所以老师我就觉得说，所以这篇重点说你到底在讲什么啊？所以老师就是老师说这篇完全没重点，你到底想要讲什么？你的重点是什么？
老师是不是这样的问题？就说一个你生活中的一个经验，然后对你的启发就好。OK，
对，而不是在那边比来比去，但是我们看不到重点就对了。
Right.
OK， 好，那我们再来看下一篇这个 OK。来 ，identity， 其实这个 identity 就跟刚刚的那个 group 是一样的题目嘛，对不对？就刚刚我们这边是 aspect your identity， 就是我们刚刚前面不是有看到 you belong to 哪一个 group， 那个是同样类型的题目，所以同学记得 essay 要重复 recycle 使用，就是这样子，就是 similar 的问题。你不要说老师它不是同一个问题，废话，它不是从同一个字，对不起哦，请原谅我，它不是同一个字句，但它问的都是相同的 ，OK？You belong to 什么 community 一样，而且不要针对它的问题直接就去回答，它问题 只是一个 hook， 只是一个引子，他想要看一个那个，他想要认识你，想要了解你，所以你大概有对到就好了 ，OK？ 千万不要觉得说啊，我就是怎么一定都没有回答到问题，就是这样子，你就是要从 essay 里面去看出你的这个。所以像这边的 identity， 它其实就是 community 的意思，就一样的就对了。
Right. 而且 I like the way you use the word community because community sometimes you cannot really like objectify it. For example, a lot of students when they say, "Oh, talk about your identity," they're gonna say, "Oh, I'm an immigrant, I'm Chinese, I'm high school," right? Why does it always have to be something that's so concrete, right? Why can't your identity not be? Example we talked about earlier, singing in the shower. That is your identity, right? Not everybody sing in the shower, but I always sing in the shower. That could be your identity, right? And how is this aspect of identity shape your life experience thus far, right? Everybody's, I can imagine how many people will be writing, "Oh, because I'm a 小留学生,或者是 I am an immigrant. That is my identity." No, write something that is not right away obvious, right? Write something about
I like drinking, never drunk.
哎，学生不能这样写啊。
No, that's my identity. Just a joke.
Right. So how about write something about I never. There was a example I read once about not using emojis in the text. Just write something instead of just returning with a smiley face, because he thinks this smiley face is lazy, doesn't show what you really want to say. That is an identity. It doesn't belong to any group, but that is your identity. You see how broad this idea is.
OK， 所以像这篇它的这个文章，它的好在哪里呢
？Oh, this is the one that he actually is the same person that wrote about insect, right?
哦，他写昆虫的就对了。
And then so basically he want to talk about, he started this neighborhood group that he introduced the wonders of insect to his neighbors. Okay? Because he actually mentioned something about because of the pandemic, people go out, so he organized this thing in the neighborhood. So that idea is okay, but it just sounds too unrealistic. Right? It's just not likely
真的有做这件事情呢。
Pandemic, right? But in the pandemic, even if people want to come out, how are you going to take the necessary safety precautions? One. Second, if you're going to teach, who are your audience? He mentioned it was the neighbor's family and kids, right? Neighbor's kids and their parents. That makes sense, because if this really happened, I'm sure Americans, being how paranoid they are with their children, they're always going to be with their kids, right? Because the time that they just send their kids out with a couple buddies to trick or treat is over, parents are always going to be. So if he would have done that, I think he should actually concentrate on how he started this group together, right? First of all, he had flyer printed out, right? Did he print out flyers? Did he go door to door, explain this to people?
所以这边的文章，它其实更要 focus 是他怎么去组织这个东西，而不是讲他的聚会，因为讲他的聚会会扯到我们现在的那个 social distancing， 那其实会 cause 很多的问题就对了。所以应该是说，他主要的是他怎么去，就说他缘起他怎么样，然后他怎么去组织这个活动 ，How did he started this event or organization instead of like the gathering things, right?
Right. Okay. So if you just skip the COVID altogether, that's very easy to kind of get around it. But then in this essay, he mentioned about how he changed the views of his people in the group. Those that really scared of insect, no longer scared of insect. He's got to demonstrate that to us.
所以他讲说他们之前那些就是说之前很怕动物的昆虫现在不怕了，但是他根本没有去解释到说为什么他们不怕。
不是解释 ，he need to show us. He need to show us, for example, names, right? My next door 9-year-old little girl, her name is Jessica. She was so afraid of bugs before she come to our group, right? So then one day, right, I finally have to show her a worm swirling in my hand, and it's not biting me. And then I could see that she was interested. Then she finally touched it, and she got so disgusted. I said, look at that, it's so yucky and slimy. And then she thought it was funny because I made a funny face. And then next time I saw her, right, was able to kind of touch the worm herself or something. That demonstrate, that show us what happened.
Yeah.
That is also lacking in this essay.
OK，
Right,
好
need
的。
to show us more.
OK， 好，那我们再来看下一篇。
Next one. Okay, so this one describe a problem you
这个是 health
solve
insurance 的，这个刚
or
刚
a
讲的。
problem you like to solve. So
Uh-huh.
this
这
right?
个是
So this-
insurance， 对不起，这个是重复了。OK，
嗯
好，再来看下一篇，这个 student background identity， 这个其实跟刚刚的题目是类似的嘛。
shouting, cheering. When I learned, I had a question. This is the one about the robot club, right? It was something about the recycling thing. Then everybody built a robot, right? And then they try to see who can scoop up most garbage in a given time. That will be the winner. Okay, so he's describing this robotic competition, which is okay. But then again, though, the essay, we always want to emphasize how this make you feel. He basically described this entire he described this competition, right? And then what happened, who won, there's a going on this and that, right? Only towards the end, it become a real essay. If you don't mind, scroll down a little bit. Where he said he only got the 7th place, right? So keep going down, right? Keep going down, right? The reason I keep going down because none of this is too important. Keep going down. Unfortunately, that's the case.
所以这一篇文章才完全讲不到重点就对了。
就是说，重点不应该是你的这个好，不是重点 should not be the description of the competition. Go up a little bit, please. Up. Stop. Okay. Right. Burst into cheers. Right. So, okay. Now, when you start, as a result, are almost toward the bottom, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 sentences from the bottom. Our team ranked 7th this time, all right, in the competition and missed the finals. A little pity for result. However, no denying that this competition ushered me into a wonderland, a place with intriguing, keep going down, right? But intriguing, right? Mysteries, right? That only belong to the field of engineering. Again, he didn't show us. He's telling us this. Okay, this is important because this gave me a chance to bring up. Not all your essay should be the one I won. Okay, the essay where you lost is actually more interesting. That's one point I want to point out. He only got 7th, right? Second point I want to point out is the conclusion. All these are just too generic, right? It's like I knew this was we can all see this way back, right? So we need to do something different. How about just explore that idea? You only got the 7th place and you missed the finals. How did that make you feel? Right? Why not just write an essay on that?
所以这篇文章整篇都是要改掉就对了。因为他讲了一个，其实就是说他是讲了比赛，他讲了这些，但是好像都没有对到一个点。但是他其实是可以用到其中一个点。他哪一个点你觉得可以把它单独拉出来给他写上去呢？
就是 he got the 7th place. Exactly.
OK,
right.
好的。所以他就光从这边，嘿，你说，老师说。
So what about after he got the 7th place? He can't figure out why he didn't get 7th. Even till today, I cannot understand why I was not in the first place. I'm so angry, right? But guess what? I need to go past it, right? Because not only am I 7th place, I'm going to be the 10th. I'm going to be the 20th place in some other competitions. I cannot go through life thinking that I'm always going to be first, right? So that is actually the true lesson I learned. I need to assist and do the best I can next time. Right? Make a good essay. Talk about how you feel, how you actually turn this around. inside, not because you did this, you had different member did this and that, and now you're second place the next competition. That is not what the essay is about. The essay is about how you feel about this thing, how this affected you, what you did to change it inside.
就是不是要你去描述一个比赛，是你在这个比赛中得第几名，你对这个比赛你的感受是什么？那对你的 life 是什么样的影响？
Yeah, that particular essay is pretty much all like a lot of it is description about the competition.
Yeah, I found that. So,
right.
如果我要是招生官的话，我看着都会觉得太 bored 了。
就是告诉我一个比赛，然后就没什么就对了。OK， 然后我们现在来看最后一篇哈，老师，你看最后一篇，这个是通常学生在写，他们都会碰到这个，就是 elaborate one of your extracurricular activities or work experience。这边到底它重点要讲什么？
如果 you have work experience, do work instead. Okay, it could be anything. Doesn't even have to be for money.
Okay, 不用收钱也没关系，不用收费。那个
volunteer job is okay 的。
对。
Oh, not volunteer, please, because volunteer is going to be in your application.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
For example, I take out a garage every week, right? So I can drive my brother's car. That is work. Right? But you cannot possibly put that in your application. But that could be something to write about.
Okay.
So now,
一定要不一样的。
Right.
不要写一样的事。
If we can, but there are going to be time when the prompt will tell you, like this one, briefly elaborate one of your extracurricular activities. But if there is not a second or work experience 的话，或者是 prompt will specify, pick one thing in your application and tell me how that has changed you. Then you don't have a choice. Then you do. There are prompts like that, I think, right? No, that I'm playing. I don't think I have seen this one. Why is that?
这是最后一篇。
Right. Okay. I'm sorry. Then I may have to glance through this real quick.
Okay.
Right. So, I've always been a musician, so nobody around me understood how to play music. Okay. Then, but that only I'm found, especially now that I play. Anyone used to say information since I couldn't take that. Okay. I've started this journey with a guitar. Okay. 7th, I also trained myself to have a intervention and earning job. Okay. Wisdom rushing through my. Okay. Keep going. Thank you. Okay. Tackling my weapon like that. Okay, so
对啊，因为这篇是老师刚刚新加，所以老师马上看。OK， 好。
Okay, all right. So one thing, okay, we don't really have to pay too much attention to the prompt, right? Because any of these would work. But then I do not see. Okay, I am kind of at lost about what the point of the essay is. Right? Because a lot of time we need to sum it all up in the conclusion. In the beginning, he talked about, he's always like music, he like drum, right? Since the forte he's been playing drum, and then he understands the art of drumming since then. But that only got me so far as a musician, right? Especially now he's playing jazz. So is he, so that's why readers get a little confused. Then he couldn't take lessons, so he's got to teach himself how to play different instruments. So you see now the topic kind of meandered away. If we can scroll down to the conclusion, right? To see what the conclusion is, right? So tackling my weak points like a football player, tackling other players and earning victory. As each beat of tune goes, the rhythm of my heartbeat followed and emerged with the tune, making this into something that hits me deep inside of my heart with pride, which is one of my extracurricular activities. So unfortunately, I think he's getting one, too descriptive. Two, is he's trying to be a little bit more poetic thing it has to be. There's really, he's missing, we want to know specifically what he is doing. You know, not, he's meandering all over the place. I do not see what his point is. All right.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things, like the amount of wisdom rushing through my brain while playing now has magnified from before.
Mm-hmm.
You see, he could have described this saying, he could have been playing football, right? What I'm saying is that this topic could be about playing football, could be about playing instrument, could be about drawing, could be about painting. It could be so generic that it doesn't really tell us anything about him. It's too generic.
所以其实这种文章，这同学经常写，就随便套用一个东西上去，就是你学乐器或学什么，你随便套用一个东西都可以，就根本就不是你只是在讲一个事件而已，就对了。
Right. So this become very generalized. We want to be specific, right? In a way, this is how American society value things, right? What has value in this society is a specialized skills, something special that doesn't have to be like a 很高大上, but it needs to be something that is specialized, that is you are good at, that is only for you, have a lot of meaning. It's about individualism. It's about personal growth. It's about you. That's what American society is looking for. Something like this is too general.
OK， 所以像这种文章就说根本没有什么主题，套任何都可以进去，所以就觉得说没有，根本不是你的东西就对了。
Right.
哇，所以其实今天看听下来，真的同学的 essay 真的还有很大的进步空间哈。对啊，
是的。essay 没有很容易，但是呢，我大概总结一下哈，就是我听了那个泰森老师讲的这些，我就大概总结了一下。第一个呢，就是一定要写正向的，然后呢，你可以表现出的你的幽默，你的幽默，你的爱学习，或者是你的努力的这样的事情，就是 be positive。然后呢，就是还有一个重点，就是一定要 focus on 在一件事情上。那这件事情你要展现出来，他们是怎么，就比如说昆虫，那个孩子写昆虫的事情，就是说你是怎么做的。比如说他不说这个昆虫，人家就说你说你看到他转变了的态度，就是说从怕昆虫到不怕昆虫，那你要用个具体的例子来解释，
Right, exactly.
来描述这样的，就是一定要写的具体。然后给人家在读的时候呢，是觉得说这是一个可读的、有意思的文章，可以读下来的。不是说随便你就去叙述一件事情，说从头到尾，就比如说那个写机器人的，你从头到尾这样叙述下来，你就叙述一个平铺直叙的一件事儿，就读起来特别没有兴趣，没有意思。对，但是呢，你要是 focus on 在一点上，比如说我也觉得说他可以说我做了一样什么的东西，但是这个东西我做失败了，那所以我没有拿到好名次，那我怎么失败的？你就总结这一样事情，或者说我得第7名，那我得第7名，那第7名对我有什么？我的想法是什么？那我从第7名上，对，是不是？
然后还有同学千万不要把那个写给学校的 essay 拿来这边就这样改一改就来这边用啊。这个是我们经常发生的这样子。OK， 那今天真的是真的我们很难得有超时超这么久的。
我觉得我好像是老师，我们学到的是最多的是吧？对，知道我们的同学真的是都有收获啊！我看到有家长跟我说，真的非常感激泰森老师讲的太好了，他们真的。
有同学说，老师我可不可以写一篇？老师下礼拜再继续跟我们讲。马上大家每次都要回去重改，然后同学说我好有启发，我要重写一篇。对啊，那我们这个我们尽量会再安排，因为下一次老师，因为泰森老师的时间真的很不好安排，是真的，我们真的很荣幸可以请到他，因为他已经真的很久都基本上是不太会跟学生，他每次我们开会的时候就讲这个写什么废话，然后没有，就是觉得说算了，就是。但是同学你要知道，就是说老师有跟你分享很多经验，真的厉害的同学，我建议今天的回放 一定要仔细的、好好的听个3遍5遍，看个3遍5遍，你会得到很多的启发。不是只有你自己的文章，你去看看别的同学的文章，到底他们也是怎么写的，失败在哪里，老师讲的点在哪里，你真的都可以听。然后我们下个月呢，我们会有做下个月或下下个月，我们也会安排在 AC 的这个361的课程，那到时候同学再来报名哦。OK， 那 Sarah 老师做结尾吧。
今天真的好开心，谢谢泰森老师啊，然后也谢谢我们。
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
谢谢。
OK， 好，那我们就先这样。那我们下周没有直播哦，我们下周才有。下周是我们下周是我们因为有家长班在周日是10月11，所以呢10月10号或10月9号晚上或10月10号早上我们是没有直播的哦。那是
如果我们的同学。我们的同学如果要是家长没有去上过课的同学，可以告诉家长，我们的家长班下周要上家长班哈，关于申请大学的一些事情，我们会在家长班再教家长们，我们叫家长取暖班，我们欢迎同学们可以如果你们有同学有朋友家长或者是家长的朋友们，如果想来上课的话，都可以联络我们哈，谢谢大家。
对啊，然后我们下周见咯。OK， 好，那祝福同学佳节愉快。好，拜拜。
Good luck, everybody.
好，拜拜。
谢谢老师。